Hey guys, thanks for clicking on my video here. I truly appreciate it. My name is Kam Tao from Amazonian Angelfish, and in today's video, I'm just going to be moving some fish around, and I'm going to have you guys come along with me for the journey here. Alright guys, so this is the 75-gallon tank right here, and excuse me for the very dirty tank right here. I haven't done any water change about like 2 weeks ago, I want to say, probably 3. But I didn't want to do that because I just came back from my trip from Los Angeles, and there is a batch of wigglers going on in here, and the parents are pretty good parents, and I don't want to be like a jerk to them or anything like that and create distrust with them. They are really good parents over there, and I didn't want to do any water change. The water change might trigger them to eat their fish, and they're doing a good job so far, and I don't want to do that. Naturally, with them being in the community tank, in the 75-gallon tank right here, once the wigglers starts to become free swimming, these fish over here will definitely predate on them, so I don't want to create any distrust for them with me. I'd rather have them distrust the fish over here, and that way I'm able to like be close to them and they won't freak out or anything like that. So right now I'm just waiting for that to happen, and after that I'm gonna go ahead and take out the pair and put them over here in this tank over here that I just set up. And obviously the sponge filters are, doing their own sponge filter things over there. So the tank here is not even ready in the first place anyways. So while we wait on that, it's just gonna be them chilling in here for a while until the babies are ready to go. And I think I'm gonna put this 75-gallon tank down here because that's the main reason why I'm doing all this, is because this tank right here is too tall for me. This is eye level for me, and my hand can't reach all the way down here and do proper water maintenance on them. And yeah, they're just uncomfortable for me. Ergonomically it's not comfortably, so it's gonna be kind of like down here, where this tank is much cleaner. I'm able to do maintenance on this tank down here. This is the same size as this tank up here, so I'm gonna have the 75 here and the 75 here. I'm gonna get the 60 breeder here and here, so this one will be replaced with a 60 breeder. And yeah, that's the plan for now. Alright guys, so I think it is time to put our new fish into the fish tank here. I just want to slowly introduce the pairs into the fish tank here, just so that I don't crash the cycle or anything like that. There's no beneficial bacteria or anything like that going on in the fish tank here, so just slowly introduction, and that's usually how I do my cycle startup. I do fish in cycle. Alright guys, so it's been a couple days that has passed by here, and obviously all the wigglers are not here anymore. They've been eaten. They obviously don't survive in the community setup, and the mom and the dad at the blue gold marble veil are over here doing fine, and all the rest of the kois are doing fine. Right now I'm in the process of moving some of these water around here, and I have the python hose down here, and just filling up this tank down here. I did do a rinse of this tank right here, as what you guys saw was over there. And yeah, so pretty much my plan now is to just put all the water from here into here and capture the koi here, and then we're gonna put the kois in here so that this tank here becomes empty. I'm pretty much gonna take out everything from here. I already took out to the top and the slates and everything over here, and I'm gonna go ahead and take out the rest of the stuff that's in here, the plants and filter and everything, and throw them all in here, just so that this tank is a bare tank, so that it allows me to take this tank over here and move it to this position over here. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and catch the blue gold marble veil pair and put it in this tank right here, just so that it has less bio load for the two new tanks. And adding this pair into this tank right here is slowly and gently raising up the bio load of this new tank here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Alright, and now that this tank is mostly drained out right here, I can easily catch the koi here without any issues or without them being thrashed around or anything too much. So I'm gonna go ahead and catch all the kois in here, and I'm gonna go ahead and put them in here. If you guys have gotten to this part of the video, I just want to thank you guys that I do appreciate you guys watching my video here. And if you guys are new to my channel here, go ahead and subscribe if you guys like my contents. And if you guys do like this video, press that like button. It really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. Alright guys, so this tank right here is completely out of water, and we're gonna go ahead and move it. So the tank is now gone, and it is over here. Now that the other tank is over there, this tank right here is very heavy and full of water, and we need this tank right here to go up here on the upper rack up here. And in order to do that, we need to clear out this tank now. So it's kind of like a musical water where I can't move a certain tank just because there's too much water in there, and I need a place to hold the water. So that's the reason why I'm doing this. So right now I need to drain all this water right here so that it's completely drained. The water pump right here, it's gonna pump the water out and throw it in here, so that I can go ahead and move this tank up here, and all the fish in here, I'm gonna go ahead and catch them along with the plants and snails and everything. They're temporarily gonna go in here. They're gonna be chilling here for probably around 5 minutes or so, and in that duration with no aeration and all that stuff, I think they should be fine compared to the 20 minutes that's gonna take just draining this water from the 75 gallon into here. You know, just less time with them being here as much as possible, and that's what I want. Alright guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and catch these fish and put them in the 5-gallon bucket right there. Alright guys, so now this tank is completely cleared out of water and the living inhabitants. The kois are in there along with the plants. The snails are in here, they're fine. They have shells, and it's okay if they slide around for a little bit, and it's okay if they're out of the water for a little bit, that's fine. So we're gonna go ahead and put this tank right here up here. Alright guys, this is the look of it, and I am very happy about it. The last 75 gallon that was here, this is the exact view that you guys are seeing right now. Notice that the tank is very tall, and I'm unable to get to the very bottom of the tank for maintenance and everything, and I didn't like that aspect. I had to use a stepping stool or a milk crate or something to step on and do water change. And of course, if the water is wet and slippery, it's not a good idea to be on something like that, and I can slip and fall and potentially injure myself. So safety comes first, and I want to go ahead and get rid of that scenario by replacing the 75 with the 60 breeder here. It's pretty much the same dimension, just that it is lower. As you guys can see here, the level of the fish tank is much lower. It's actually the same level as my 40 breeder down there behind the tank there. So this is eye level right here, and this is how I see the tank, and that's what I want. And right now it is perfectly easy for me to do maintenance on this tank right here, and on this tank and this tank down here. Everything is perfect how the way I want it to be. I'm gonna go ahead and pump out the water from here into here, so that there is some aged water in here. I don't want all new water in here, just because I feel like the new water, it has so much chemicals within the new water that it can destroy the fish's gills and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and pump as much water as needed from this tank into this tank here, so that it resembles a 50% water change pretty much. And I'm gonna add in new water in here and add in the old inhabitants, the koi and everything, and the plants into here as well. And for the sponge filter, I'm gonna do something else with that, because this 75 gallon over here will be using the big old sponge filter. because this is a 60 breeder and that up there is a 60 breeder. I'm gonna go ahead and use the same setup of using the 2 smaller sponge filter on both sides, just because the tank, it's so big, and the sponge filter are like the baby sponge filters, or like the large size sponge filter. These are actually pretty large sponge filters right here. So yeah, I'm gonna do the same setup as over there, over here, one here and one here, and I'm gonna use one of the seeded sponge filter from here. This is gonna be an old sponge filter, so that way this tank right here is instantly cycled, housing all the koi's in here. That way I don't have to worry about this tank crashing or anything like that. There's gonna be I'm gonna go ahead and put the koi's from here into here, and this is gonna be a whole new sponge filter. So this is the only tank that I had to worry about crashing, just because it has a few of the black angelfish in here. All the black angelfish in here are gonna stay in here so that they can grow properly. I'm gonna get rid of the koi's and put them in here so that they don't crowd the black guys, because they're higher in quantity. I'm gonna go ahead and put them in here so that they have the bigger fish tank to grow out and to live their life. Alright guys, so we are now in the process of pumping the water from this 75 gallon here into the 60 breeder up here. Alright guys, so we are back, and this fish tank right here is about 50% filled. And what I noticed with this fish tank right here is that it is not 50%, so it does not resemble 50% water change. Some of these inhabitants gonna go in here, so I'm thinking about draining this tank right here using these aged water and throwing it in here so that this sponge filter over here doesn't suffer with the all new water change, and then that will resemble a 50% water change. It's also pretty much the same thing as mixing this water with this water right here, just so that these guys are okay, and it resembles a 50% water change as well, just because this water right here and this water right here is not the same in terms of chemical makeup and all that stuff, and ammonia and nitrate and all that stuff. It's although it's like the same source, it's not the same kind of water. Actually, in terms of quality, this water quality might be a lot worse than this water quality, just because I haven't done water change, because the angelfish that were in here were breeding and everything, and I didn't want to interrupt that breeding process. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some water from here into here. While that's going on, I'm gonna go ahead and pour the koi angelfish right into this fish tank here before adding in any new water. Alright guys, so this tank right here is all filled up and everything. It's a little bit kind of dirty, but definitely the sediments will settle up in here, and the floor right here I kind of got to cleaned up a little bit here, a little bit too. And in the meantime, the pump right here, it pumped a little bit more water than I wanted in here, so that's fine. So I'm gonna add in new water in here, and it's gonna resemble 50% water change, and it's the same thing as me just doing water change on this tank over here as well, 50% water change. So that's perfectly fine here. So pretty much all these 3 tank right here, this one, and this one, has been done with the 50% water change rule, and I don't think any of these tanks will crash, even though they are moved around or anything like that. The only one that I'm concerned about is this one over here, but because the stock level of it is so low, I'm not too concerned about that. Alright guys, so for this sponge filter, it came from this tank over here. Basically there's nothing going on over there, there's no fish over there, but soon there will be fish going on over there. And in here, this is a new sponge filter, and over here is the tank is still pretty empty. I'm gonna go ahead and put all the red koi from here into this tank here, so let's go ahead and get that done. This message is for all of those that has commented in my past video of how much you guys enjoy my video, along with all the people that has privately messaged me that you guys really do enjoy my videos. I'm happy to hear that, and you guys just don't know it, but it really makes my heart warm, and it truly motivates me of just putting a camera in front of, you know, whatever I'm doing in the fish room here. This is my favorite part of the hobby, is just moving tanks around and moving fish around. Thank you guys for supporting me. Alright guys, so this is the tank right now, the 60 breeder, it's doing its natural process. As you guys can see there, it's quite cloudy, and the fish are actually breeding in here. These are the eggs in here, and the eggs are doing okay. It's starting to fungus up, so I'm gonna go ahead and take out some of those fungus right there to prevent any of the fungus from spreading. I'm really looking forward for this batch right here. The mom and the dad is over here. It is quite murky in here, so the camera won't catch them. This is how they look like in the 75-gallon tank right here. I've been really looking forward to this two right here spawning and everything. Haven't really had the chance to spawn them and keep their eggs just because the female is in the 75, and she's been not willing to lay that much eggs. But being in here, she's more comfortable being in here by herself along with the two tank mate pair right here. So she went ahead and laid a whole bunch of eggs right here. So that's what's up with this tank for now. Alright, so these are the eggs that is in the 5-gallon tank. I did pull them out so that the parents doesn't eat any of them. For some reason the eggs here they're not sticking well to the slate over here, which is kind of weird. I've never experienced this before. And one thing that I experienced is that lately, if I pull the eggs and put them in methylene blue, all the eggs will go bad. They will turn out looking like these guys over here, where most of them turns out bad. There's some starting to wiggle over here, but so far it's not looking so good. But yeah, right now they are in here, and you know, if they're doing well, then why mess with them, you know? Sometimes methylene blue is not the solution to all of my problems. You know, just let them do their natural thing. If they're not fungusing or anything like that, that's what I'm gonna be doing. Just leave them in here for now. Of course, I put an air stone in there and everything. Just my normal process, just without the methylene blue. Alright guys, it's been a couple days that has passed, and this pair over here is about to lay eggs. That's the male right there, and the female coming forward. Her stomach is very swollen and is about to pop. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and separate this pair over here at this corner right here to themselves, so that they get some privacy. And these two are still doing fine. They're up and about now. Alright guys, so I went to Home Depot, and they have this product here. This is the light sealing egg crate for 20 bucks each. They only have 2 in stock, which is exactly what I need. I went ahead and grabbed those 2 and came back home. And this is the measuring of the tank right here. As you guys can see right here, this is at 16 inches. However, what you want to do is to measure the interior of the tank, which is at 14 inches. So you would want to measure your tank the inside and not the outside, so that it fits. What I use here is a meat cleaver. That is a tool that is the best for this project here. And pretty much you just want to run down the measurement that you had on your egg crate. You can use other things like a plier or something like that, but I find it easiest if you just use the meat cleaver. Once you reach the bottom here, you want to turn the egg crates upside down and start a new cutting right here. Just because if you run it all the way through, there's a high chance that you might chip the edge, and you don't want to do that. You want to have a nice clean edge. And once you're done with that, I went back inside and measured it again and marked a spot on the egg crate, and went ahead with the cutting of the egg crate, flipping it again to the other side once it gets to the halfway mark, just because I don't want to run the knife all the way through. And you are using the blunt end of the knife while cutting through the egg crate, and once it is completely cut, you would want to use the sharp part of the knife to cut through all the very sharp edges that is still attached to the egg crate, just to smooth out the edges in case the fish do go on the edge and slam against it. They don't get pierced or anything like that. After that, you will want to go ahead and put it into the tank here. And basically what this does is that it's for a perfect measurement. This is just pretty much you're copying and pasting the dimension of the crate that you cut here. And this part is the part where I measured it up against the uncut part of the egg crate. Marked a spot with my finger there, and pretty much copy and pasting the dimension. It's going to be the same size as the one I cut. That way I don't have to remeasure over and over and over again. I pretty much just did the same step over again. And make sure when you guys do this, you guys have something on the bottom, like a hard surface or a hard even surface, just so that you don't break the egg crate. And there will be lots of shells everywhere, lots of sharp pieces everywhere, so make sure you do this in a spot where there's very little foot traffic. Otherwise, you can do this on cement or something like that so that it's easier for you to sweep. Where I did mine was on top of a piece of a pallet. That way it's very easy for me to sweep, and if there's any leftover pieces, it goes on the floor, and you know, I mow the grass and everything and it gets chopped up and everything. So make sure also you need to clean this piece as much as you possibly can with a hose, just because it has a lot of small tiny little plastic pieces that can get into your aquarium, and if the fish decides to eat on that, it's indigestible, so it may kill your fish. So make sure you rinse all the piece that you have thoroughly before you put it into your aquarium. The first piece that I did put in there, I did rinse it thoroughly. This right here is a piece of the heater that I don't ever use. It has 2 suction cup on it, and I usually just throw the heater into the aquarium. What I do with this piece right here is that I use it to hold the egg crate inside of the aquarium. So you just pretty much attach it to the side and throw it in there. There's certain side of the egg crate that I use it on. I usually use it on the side that I don't want to look at, which is the very edge, the original edge of the egg crate, and put it in there just because it's not full. Yes, I'm pretty anal about how the egg crate look like, just because I see every single day, and to me it's an eyesore. So what you want to do is place the 2 suction in the tank first in the spot where you want it to be, and slide the egg crate in there. What I noticed for this one, at the very beginning, once I discovered egg crates and how to use it, notice how the piece doesn't fit in there perfectly, is because they're on the very edge of the tank. The tank isn't a perfect rectangle, so you want to use pliers, and you want to cut the very edge of the egg crates right there, because the tank isn't a perfect rectangle due to the silicone gluing the tank together. The silicone is blocking the very edge of the tank from becoming a perfect rectangle, like the egg crate here. You want to curve it a little bit, so give it some leeway room, and pretty much you just want to use pliers, get rid of that piece right there. And now that it's all cut and everything, we went ahead and put the egg crate into the tank right here. And at this point, you want to make sure that the fish is on a certain side. You wouldn't want to net out the fish or readjust your egg crates there, just because that's just more work. Just make sure the fish is on the side that you want the fish to be on. And with a little bit of adjustment, it is perfectly centered. And also at that time, I want to move the sponge filter along with the angelfish breeding slate to its final position, because I don't want to move those too much after I'm done with this step. On the other side of the tank here, I do want to provide this pair with their own privacy. So I went ahead and put in another fish tank divider here, which allowed me to put in another pair from another tank in here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and let them chill out in here for a while. On the same day that I put in the egg crate, the pair here that has been separated, they went ahead and bred, which goes to show that the more secluded they are, the better the female feels, and the more she's willing to lay her eggs, and all of her eggs that is in her belly. And having the snails in there, sure, the snails are bothering them, but it just makes the bond pair so much better compared to just, you know, having those two in there. It prevents the male and the female from eating the eggs. And on this side over here, a couple days has passed by, and I wanted it to add another pair into this tank here. So I went ahead and divided this tank here, and allowing the pair to choose which side they feel more comfortable going into, and they chose that side over there. They could have either went to the left or the right side, but they felt more comfortable on that side over there, so I gave them that space over there. And putting in here is another pair that I got in another fish tank. By putting this pair in here, it opens up tank space. Alright guys, so now that this pair is in here, and they were originally from this tank right here, they were breeding, so it took them a while to get rid of the babies and everything. I didn't want to disrupt of how they were breeding and taking care of the eggs and everything. So now that they are in here, and this tank in here is available, I'm gonna go ahead and throw in other fish in here. This is the 65 tall, and yeah, they're gonna be a whole bunch of fish up in here, and these guys over here are going to be going into the 65 tall, and right now they are housed in the 100-gallon tank right here. This is the biggest tank that I have in the fish room right now. I just did a rough head count, and I think there's 10 of them in here, not including the betta. The betta will be staying in here, but yeah, 10 of them will be going into the 65 over there. The reason why I want to clear out this tank right here is because I want to go ahead and put these albino dantums in there. These albino dantums are very slow growers. Steve wasn't kidding when he said that these guys are very slow growers. But yeah, this is how they look like right now. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of the fish in this tank first, and that way I can put these guys over here from here into this tank right here. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the adults in here. Yes, they are going into a smaller tank. However, because most of these are males, I feel like they are okay going into a smaller tank because they are adults. They're not growing or anything like that. They don't really need the bigger tank to grow anymore. And because most of these are males, they're usually not aggressive towards each other. I only have the one female in there, and when she breeds, she'll breed with any of the males in there. And here is the clip of me showcasing the albino dantums going into their new 100-gallon tank. Alright guys, so the albino dantums are finally in the 100-gallon tank here, and they're getting adjusted to the tank here and everything. So yeah, they're doing pretty well. Now that this tank over here is empty, I'm gonna go ahead and get some of these guys over here. These guys are the silver blushings. They're looking pretty good, but I want to give them a bigger tank essentially, just because they are still pretty small. They're about dollar size right now, and just because they are pretty small, I want to provide them with the bigger tank so that they can grow and breed. Basically, I want this tank to be cleared out so that I can put more baby fish in here from other breeding pairs as well, and continue my breeding process. Pretty much I want to start with the smallest tank that I have, which is the 40 breeder, and eventually move them up to bigger and bigger tanks as they become bigger and bigger. And this is them right here moving into their new 55-gallon tank. On the other side of there, which is sectioned off, is another pair. They pretty much have the whole 55-gallon tank all to themselves, and they will grow very rapidly in this tank here, and I'm looking forward to that. Right now this tank right here is cleared, and I can pretty much just raise up any batch that I want. However, with the timing and everything, and still having vacations coming up and everything, I honestly don't know what to keep, mainly because the fries will not be big enough for me to go on to vacation. When I come back, the fries won't be, you know, alive and everything. So I think right now I'm just gonna put a pair in here, or put some other fish in here just to keep the biological filter running. Alright guys, I want to give you guys one last update here before I finalize the video editing part and throw this on YouTube for production. And these guys right here, they actually spawned in here already, which is very surprising. I didn't expect her to lay eggs that fast after putting her in here. It's about a week that has passed by, and she went ahead and laid some eggs. It's actually fertilized. We have lots and lots of wigglers here. However, I'm not gonna touch any of these, just knowing that I'm gonna be going into vacation and everything. So yeah, these guys are definitely fertile without methylene blue and everything. Somehow the water here works well without methylene blue. So maybe in the future I won't be using methylene blue. This pair over here has laid eggs again, and this is a new batch of eggs right now. The first batch that you guys saw earlier in the video has been eaten up by the parents, and you know, sometimes the eggs becomes wigglers and wigglers become free swimmer, and obviously they will go past the egg crates here onto the other side, and if not eaten by these guys over here, then these guys over here, or if not these guys, then you know, these guys over here. So yeah, right now this is how they're looking. There's no eggs over here or anything. The eggs are actually over here. The babies are growing up pretty well. A week has passed by, and this is how the babies are looking like. They are actually quite big. It's very surprising. I've only been feeding them for one entire week here, and this is how they look like. The fins are already starting to show up a little bit here on the dorsal and the caudal fin there, or anal fin. I'm not, yeah, I think it's the anal fin. But yeah, the babies are doing pretty well. They're in here and chilling and everything. Alright guys, thanks for watching my video all the way to the very end here. I truly appreciate it, and I hope you guys enjoy watching my video as much as I enjoy living it in real life, recording it and editing it. So until next time guys, I'll see you guys on the next video.